Hello, so today I did the speed sensor, the handbrake cable, I probably part one, installed the new battery, added oil to the engine, and installed the tunnel top. I also went around and did a bunch of zip ties in places I thought were probably finalized. So the easy stuff versus zip ties, I just went around the car looking at loose wires and zip tied them next to or to whatever chassis uh, mount I could find. Um, I also added my oil to the engine. I didn't have quite enough. I had a little bit less than 6 quarts. My dealer told me to add 2 quarts in the engine, 4 quarts in the sump, so I need to get another quart or maybe a little bit more just to have on hand. Um, so I need to do that. I also attempted to install the handbrakes. There are these little holes in the brake caliper that I think the handbrake is supposed to go through, but I had a hard time getting them in, so maybe they're not supposed to go through that. I need to do some research and ask some questions about that, so I will have to come back to the handbrake. Also, I got the handbrake to the point where both sides were being tugged and engaging the calipers when I pull the handbrake. Um, Unfortunately, when I installed the tunnel top, I had to loosen the handbrake so that the handbrake in the cockpit could go as vertical as possible, so I could slip the tunnel top over. And I didn't have enough time to retighten it to the spot where both sides were being pulled equally. So I will have to revisit that in a different session. The tunnel top was kind of difficult to put over, mainly because where you insert the handbrake is sort of in front of where the handbrake is, even when you pull it all the way vertical. Um, had a little bit of tough time, but you sort of just there's only one way to get it. Um, Next, the battery. I got an AGM battery at the suggestion of my dealer. So the banner battery that comes with the Caterham, it doesn't come filled with water. It's a lead acid battery, so I would have to go fill it with water, and also I would have to pay for that service. So instead, he recommended me just get an AGM, which doesn't have any liquid in it, and so it's a lot less likely to have a leak or a spill with that battery. Also, it's smaller and it's lighter. Um, so I went with that. I got a tray and a bracket from my dealer to install that battery. Unfortunately, it looks like the tray is a little small for the battery, so I wanted to ask about that. But the top tie works perfectly in the default tray. So I just added some foam in front and behind the battery to sort of hold it in place for now. I didn't attach any of the wires yet because I'm not quite ready for that. The speed sensor was fairly easy to install, but I seem to have been missing some parts. So the speed sensor itself came with 2 nuts and a clutch washer on it. Um, but none of those were large enough for the hole in the anti-roll bar drop link bracket. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take off one nut, insert the speed sensor so that it goes through that hole, and then tighten that nut you removed back on so that it holds both sides of the bracket. Since none of those pieces, they were all too small for the hole, so they just went right through the hole. So I had to find two bigger washers to go around it and sandwich it. I just found spare parts from my build to do that with. Um, I read somewhere online that the sensor is supposed to be about zero point 0.8 to zero point 0.9 inches away from the wheel hub with the teeth that it measures. I think mine is ended up a little bit closer. I think zero point 0.8 and zero point 0.9 seems a little bit far. Um, but once I get the battery and all the electronics hooked up, I can turn on the car and I can just spin the wheel. And as the teeth uh, go pass by the speed sensor, I should be able to see the speed sensor light go on and off, and so I can test my distance once I get the electronics booted up. Uh, and then I think that's it for this session.